These 5 tips can help you find steals and deals on cards on eBay. The very last tip is something super secret that not a lot of people probably use, so make sure to stick around for that one. But let's go ahead, hop into the very first tip. It's going to be newly listed items. So I have a phone right here. We're on eBay right now, and I just typed in CJ Stroud Prism. That's kind of going to be the card that we're going to be looking at today. And if you go over here where it says filter, click there, go to sort, click newly listed. So sometimes people don't know what a card is worth. So let's say they got the CJ Stroud Prism base. It's worth probably around like $25 around there. So let's say someone doesn't know what it's worth and they might put it up for $10, buy it now. I've seen a lot of situations of stuff like that, of people just putting stuff up for super cheap. Usually when a product first releases is when you can find something really good like that. But yeah, I check some players like every single day, multiple times a day, just looking for newly listed stuff, things that people don't know what it's worth. And you always want to be the first one to hop on stuff, even if it's like a best offer, something like that. You want to get there before everyone else. So that's a really good tip to use. You can use it on any search. Look at it once, twice a day, as many times as you want. But let's go ahead, move on into the next tip. That's going to be auctions ending soon. So a lot of times auctions can either go really high or really low. So you want to try and find the ones that are going to go the lowest. And what I would do is go into filter, and you can actually sort it by auction right there. And here, you got to go to, so where we did newly listed, you're going to go to ending soonest. So right here we have a Prism CJ Stroud ending in 5 minutes. So you can kind of find ones just ending at different times. Some of them may go lower than others, so you want to always do your research before you bid on something. But usually you can find some pretty good deals with bidding. So another tip in doing auctions is you always want to bid at the last second or last few seconds. And you always want to put in the very highest that you're willing to pay. This kind of helps you keep a hold of your money. You might put a bid in, someone may bid higher than you, and then you may be tempted to bid higher than you want to. That just kind of keeps you from doing that. And it also lets other people not do that as well. Because let's say you bid a certain price, it goes higher, and then someone else is like, oh, I want to pay more for it. It just can jack up the prices more. So always bid last second. It's a lot more helpful. I've won a lot of cards by doing that. And yeah, that's a really helpful tip that I use usually every single time that I do an auction. So let's move on into the third tip. And that is going to be messaging sellers. So don't be afraid to message sellers at all. So let's go to, let's say there's a buy it now. Let's see if we can find one right here. So even though it says it doesn't have offers on the listing, don't be afraid to message the seller asking, what are they willing to go to, stuff like that. Because I've had a lot of situations to where someone didn't have an or best offer, and I'll message them, and I can get 20% off, 30% off. There's a lot of people out there willing to work with you. You just gotta message them, message for more pictures, all that kind of stuff. It's really helpful. It's better to get in contact with the person selling the card. It just gives you more opportunity to maybe purchase this card, because when it has or best offer, that's going to attract a lot of people. So, maybe going to one that's not as attractive, you can sometimes get people down lower if they're willing to take something lower than what they have on there. On to the fourth tip, that is about auctions, and this is the timing of auctions. I have won a lot of auctions at really low prices during the middle of the day on weekdays. So that sweet spot is going to be around from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and we're on Eastern Standard Time. This is just when people usually aren't looking at auctions because people are at lunch, people are at work. there's a lot of opportunity to bid at those certain times. Like, for example, there was an Anthony Richardson auto PSA 10 that was at like $40 at like, I don't even remember what time. It was like 11 o'clock. And, you know, that card's going to go for over $100, and I got it for $50, which is crazy. You know, so always be checking those. Be more attentive than other people at those times. You can always find really good deals. And also another good time to bid on stuff is on holidays. A lot of people are usually spending time with families, but you're looking at cards, trying to get good deals. There's a lot of opportunity there. So make sure to look at that. Keep an eye out for those holidays and different cards ending at those times. And let's go ahead and head to the 5th super secret tip. So let's say there's a card, the CJ Stroud Prism. Let's change it back to, we're at Buy It Now. Let's go to Best Match. So this one right here, or let's see, maybe this one. So this one's at $30. Maybe you don't want to pay $30, you're more at like $20. Go here. Maybe you can't find one for what you want. Just go ahead and watch the item. And this allows the seller to send you offers on that item. So maybe they're just trying to get rid of it, and you can kind of be on their list to get that offer. Like, for example, there was an Anthony Richardson Prism variation that was at like $100. And I was watching the item, and that seller just randomly sent out an offer for $65, which is a lot of percentage off for that card. That's a really good deal. And I wouldn't have got that offer if I wasn't watching it. So make sure to watch items. Keep an eye out for stuff. You know, obviously the Prism base, there's going to be tons of these cards, but more exclusive cards, even if it's a higher price, still watch the item. The seller can send out any offer they want. So there's been a lot of instances where we've gotten offers of stuff way lower than what they priced it for. So that's a really good tip that I would keep an eye out on. If you stuck around this long, we have another tip number 6, and that is buying cards on Whatnot. Also, using our link, you can get $10 to $200 free. So go ahead, use that link, and we're going to be auctioning off a lot of cards. You can get some great deals there on Whatnot. The show is going to be at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time today. So make sure, look up Wayne Collection on Whatnot or use our link, and we'll see y'all there.